Welcome back everyone. Time to do another comparison this time around between the newly released iPhone 12 and the kind of predecessor in a way, the iPhone 11 Pro. Now it is the last generation flagship in a way, but the iPhone 12 isn't really the successor to the iPhone 11 Pro. Now looking on the front and even side by side, you can see that realistically they're almost the same size. One really isn't way bigger or way smaller. The iPhone 12 may be a little longer, but it seems a little bit narrower on the sides. Now pricing wise, the iPhone 11 Pro cost $1,000 last year. The iPhone 12 cost $829. So of course, from that price perspective, the iPhone 12 is cheaper. But right now, the iPhone 11 Pro has actually gone down in value and in a lot of places is cheaper than a brand new iPhone 12. So if you're somebody who wants to pick up, one of these phones, they're going to be roughly around the same price. Just know the 11 Pro is going to depreciate a lot more. And I feel like these are going to be around that $600 price tag, probably within a couple of weeks, maybe even up until a month from now. So I'll find the cheapest ones on Amazon, link them down in the description below. You can get them from there and help support the channel at the same time. Now starting off with the front panels of both, like I showed you before, the iPhone 11 Pro has a little bit of a smaller display. It's a 5.8-inch panel, and I can definitely tell you from using this phone throughout, I've owned it for a year now, I've been using it as my main device. I love this phone. It has a pretty good panel. I like the size of it, and I actually do like the upgrade that the iPhone 12 Pro has of a bigger display and a pretty much almost the same footprint, even though it's a little bit longer. Now with the 11 Pro, obviously you have True Tone on it. It's a good panel. There's really not that much to hate on. And comparing the 11 Pro to the iPhone 12's panel, it's kind of comparing almost the same exact thing. It really just depends. Do you like a bigger one, smaller one? You can kind of just go from there. But just know neither one of these phones have like 120 hertz or anything crazy like that. They're pretty much the same panel when it comes down to it. Just one is bigger. As expected, as I just told you, the iPhone 12 on the other hand has a 6.1-inch OLED panel, so it definitely is an upgrade from the iPhone 11's panel. But like I said, if you're going from the 11 Pro to the iPhone 12, I personally do feel like they're almost exactly the same display. I don't think you should go from one phone to the other because of the display. Now, because of the flat sides on the iPhone 12, you do get kind of it looks like it's a little bit less bezel-less as something like the iPhone 11 Pro, but just do keep in mind that that's kind of just a looks thing. That isn't necessarily the case, and that's something that does kind of suck a little bit, but I think for a majority of people out there, you're probably going to be okay with either one of these phones. Now, for some reason, my automatic brightness just came on this display, so I'm going to go and have to go and turn it off. And I don't know why that happens. I don't even know who likes the automatic brightness, to be honest. Now, in terms of the thickness, Apple has stated that the iPhone 12 series should be thinner than the previous models, but I don't know. Like when I feel them both in the hand, they kind of feel the same. If anything, the iPhone 12 feels a little thicker, and even though it's not, I can kind of explain why. Mostly it's because the curved edge on the iPhone 11 Pro, of course it's maybe the thickest point on the iPhone 11 Pro is thicker than the thickest point of the 12. But when you feel both in the hand, you don't really notice it, if I'm being honest. Especially if you have a case on it, you're not going to notice the differences at all. And on the back, you can see we have a triple camera setup on the iPhone 11 Pro, dual camera setup on the iPhone 12, kind of different glass backs. And you have that standard glass back on the iPhone 12. And for sure, the back on the iPhone 11 Pro feels much better, in my opinion. This is a true flagship, how it should feel. The iPhone 11, I think, is good enough for a lot of people, but for sure, the iPhone 11 Pro has the better feeling back for sure. And I'll be completely honest, I mean, if you're looking at both phones, I don't really think you should go for one phone over the other based off just the looks or anything, but I kind of think the iPhone 11 Pro may feel a little bit more like a flagship device. I like the stainless steel kind of looking sides. I like the frosted back. I like the triple camera setup on this phone. The iPhone 11 has a better front, I would say, because of the flat sides, but I think a majority of people aren't really going to care. And I think if you're going from one phone to the other, I don't really think design is that big of a deal. It may be a big deal to you. Me personally, I don't really see it. So that kind of covers it up in terms of the outside. Now in terms of the software, realistically, because the iPhone 12 is a newer device, we should be expecting this phone to last technically longer than the iPhone 11 Pro in terms of a software standpoint. Now it could be a chance where this phone could actually get an extra year or two of software updates. Who knows? We really don't know at this point, but it's still so early on of both these phones' life cycle that it's just like laughable if we try to predict. But I'll definitely tell you, if you pick up the 11 Pro or the iPhone 12 right now, both these phones are going to be lasting for an extremely long amount of time, and it's not going to feel like you have an outdated device in either one of these. So in terms of that pretty much covers it up. Now let's go ahead and do a speed comparison, a speed test between both of these devices. Now the iPhone 11 Pro has that Apple A13 Bionic chip with 4 gigabytes of RAM, where the iPhone 12 has that Apple A14 Bionic chip with 4 gigabytes of RAM inside of it as well. So let's go and see which one is the faster one between both of these devices. Okay, now that we're back, let me go and clear all the apps in the background. Okay, we're totally cleared out. Let's open up the App Store. 3, 2, 1. And the iPhone 12 was faster, followed by the iPhone 11 Pro shortly behind it. Not an insane difference, but definitely a noticeable one for sure. Animations will also seem to be about the same. These phones slide all over the place. And I want to say both these phones are still going to be extremely fast. You're not going to feel like you're outdated in either one of these. I'll start loading up these apps. Let's do Temple Run 2. 3, 2, 1. And you can see the iPhone 12 definitely ahead, the iPhone 11 Pro a little bit behind it for sure. And you can see the iPhone 12 was definitely faster there. iPhone 11 Pro a little bit behind. Getting some gameplay, I'm sure you're not going to be able to see those many differences, but still very important for me to showcase it. And yeah, this is a very, very easy one to say. Let's do BOFA. 3, 2, 1. iPhone 12 is faster, followed by the iPhone 11 Pro. Dropbox. 3, 2, 1. A little bit of a glitch going on with the iPhone 11 Pro there. That was very weird. New Quizlet. 3, 2, 1. Again, iPhone 12 is the faster one. 11 Pro a little bit behind. Netflix. 3, 2, 1. And as you can see, the iPhone 12 again was the faster one there. Snake versus Blocks. 3, 2, 1. And again, iPhone 12 is faster. iPhone 11 Pro a little bit behind. Getting into some gameplay. And again, thank you. 3, 2, 1. And in this case, again, the iPhone 12 is faster, iPhone 11 Pro a little bit behind. Gameplay is going to be about the same. I haven't seen a big difference in gameplay, mostly just in terms of the opening speeds. Stack. 3, 2, 1. And the iPhone 12 is faster to even load up the ad. This one was a little bit slower for sure. Fruit Ninja. 3, 2, 1. Hopefully we don't have to change anything on either one of these. And even there, you can still see the loading speeds were that much faster on the iPhone 12. And that is something that's very, very fascinating to me. How, like, it's just that much faster already. It's so noticeable. Paper out 2, 3, 2, 1. And you can see the iPhone 11 Pro surprisingly was the faster one there. Getting into some gameplay, let's see if there's a huge difference. And I don't think there's going to be a huge one, but for sure that was a very interesting thing. The 11 Pro finally beat the iPhone 12. We can end it off with the Real Racing 3, 3, 2, 1. Hopefully it loads up on both these because I've been having 30,000 issues on each one of these for some reason. And the iPhone 11 Pro seems to be a little bit behind. And the iPhone 12 is the faster one. It was able to load it up faster. The iPhone 11 Pro a little bit behind it for sure. So to kind of sum up the speed comparison, I can definitely tell you when it comes down to it, I think the iPhone 12 is more times than not the faster phone, which is expected. I'm really happy about that. RAM management seems to be a little weirder though, even though they have the exact same amount of RAM. But definitely when it comes down to the speed, the iPhone 12 is the faster one. If you're loading up apps constantly, if you're trying to do a lot of multitasking or whatever, I guess theoretically the iPhone 12 should be a little bit better. Even though this one is able to keep the RAM in the background, they have the same amount of RAM, which is really weird. But every time I open up an app, the iPhone 11 Pro is faster. The iPhone 12's RAM management is completely weird. I do not understand this at all. This phone should theoretically have been better than the iPhone 11 Pro, and it's not really being like that. As you can see, the 11 Pro is able to keep every single app in the background so far for the most part, or they restarted the same ones. But the iPhone 12 has been restarting a majority of them, which is very weird. And I don't really know why that happened. I've been seeing over and over again a lot of these iPhones, the newer ones, always have a weird time with RAM management. And sometimes this may not even matter with the amount of RAM inside these devices. It just seems like, with the same amount of RAM between them, why are they both closing out the apps, or why is the 11 Pro doing way better in the RAM management portion than the iPhone 12? It doesn't really make any sense to me, but even this one, like, why did that happen? That shouldn't have happened. So I guess in terms of that pretty much covers it up, but that RAM management was definitely better on the iPhone 11 Pro. So speed, iPhone 12, RAM management, iPhone 11 Pro. So let's go ahead on the cameras. And like I said, both have, 12 megapixel sensors on all the lenses, 12 megapixel wide, 12 megapixel telephoto, 12 megapixel ultra wide, where the iPhone 12 has a 12 megapixel wide, then a 12 megapixel ultra wide sensor. Now, in terms of the cameras, you can definitely see that for sure. Maybe the quality, I guess, of the photo, if you're taking the same exact photo on both these, maybe you'll assume that the quality is better on the iPhone 12. But for the most part, they have the exact same features for the most part. They can do 4K at 60 on the back camera. They can even do 4K at 60 on the front camera. One thing I've been able to see that, throughout the generations of using one phone to the other, you're able to see that the front cameras are where the bigger improvements happen at. And I think for this one, I think there's very little difference on the back camera, very little difference on the front camera. If anything, the 11 Pro may be the better camera in my opinion. Now, I've been using this camera pretty much as a main phone, so I've been using it for every single photo I've ever taken on a phone, and it's a very, very good camera. I love the fluidity of the camera. I'm sorry, I'm covering it up, but you have that ultra wide sensor, you have that telephoto lens, and it's just so seamless. It really feels like you have a really, really good setup. It really feels like you have a really, really good sensor in your pocket at all times. And with the 11 Pro, I love the ability that you have those triple camera setups and you still have portrait mode and everything. That compared to a lot of other Androids, it doesn't have the crazy amount of features, but the quality is consistent. And I really do like the iPhone 11 Pro camera. And I think it may even be better than the iPhone 12, if I'm being honest. Now, definitely the iPhone 12's camera is good enough for the most part. If you're going to be taking, a ton of photos or videos or whatever, this camera is really good. And for an $829 phone, it has a really good setup. Now, you can do 4K 60 on the back camera, like I stated as well, and you can do 4K 60 on that front camera. But with the lack of that telephoto lens, it really makes me wonder why Apple still does this dual camera setup thing. They should just add triple camera setups on all their iPhones. Why put a watered down camera on this phone? With the Galaxy S20, I feel like that had a tremendous camera, and the S20 Ultra had a way better camera, and the same argument could be made there. But I really don't think like with between these cameras, I think the 11 Pro is probably the better camera when it comes down to it. Like I said before, I think the iPhone 12 is a good camera for the most part, but the 11 Pro may actually be the better camera when it comes down to both these. So in terms of that, that pretty much covers it up. Now, ending it off with the battery life. I actually do think that the iPhone 11 Pro has a better battery life between these two phones, but I'll go ahead and just do a battery comparison at some point, not in this video, but a separate video between these two to see which one is actually the better camera. I'm going to assume that the 11 Pro is the better one, but maybe the iPhone 12 would be better. This one has a bigger battery, so I guess time will tell. But to kind of sum up this video and to answer the question, should you pick up the iPhone 11 Pro? Should you pick up the iPhone 12? I'll definitely tell you if you have an iPhone 11 Pro, I would not pick up any iPhone 12, including this one, the 12 Pro, the 12 Pro Max. I would probably keep the iPhone 11 Pro until the iPhone 13s come out. Those are set to be crazy phones and, way better than these ones. So I guess I'll just wait for those. But if you have an 11 Pro, you probably aren't even caring. You probably think this is the best phone, and it is probably the best phone still, one of the better phones for sure. And there's a lot of pros for the iPhone 11 Pro still. It has a great camera setup, still amazing, great build quality. It's kind of smaller than the newer one, so it kind of, maybe if you like a smaller display, smaller phone, this one is the one for you. Has better battery life, in my opinion, than the other iPhones for sure. It's cheaper, it has IP certification and all that good stuff. And performance was a little bit, it was a little bit slower, I would say, but the RAM management was better on the iPhone 12 Pro. So when it comes down and when you put it like that, the iPhone 11 Pro is actually a pretty decent phone when it comes down to it. But definitely, I think the iPhone 12, if you have all the money in the world, I guess pick up this phone, but I'm not really like crazy excited about it. And I don't know what it is about it. I think, the flat design was like the biggest change they made. And if you like this design or anything, then go for it. If you like MagSafe on the back, then go for it. But I just think, it's still a fast phone. It's definitely faster than the iPhone 11 Pro. It has, not as good as RAM management though, which is weird. Has a great camera setup. It has pretty good battery life, I would say. And again, there's really not that much to hate on it. Fast phone. It's cheaper than the brand new iPhone 12 Pro, but I just have a hard time recommending it over the 11 Pro. I just think between these two phones, I would recommend getting an iPhone 11 Pro. Software updates are still going to be about the same on both these phones for a couple more years, so that kind of is how I would sum up both these phones. I think the iPhone 12 is a beautiful phone. It's tremendous. But I think the iPhone 11 Pro is probably the better phone, in my opinion, as an overall device than the iPhone 12. So that really pretty much covers it up. If you guys have any other questions or anything, let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. Every single subscriber that we get really does count, so it means so much if you guys could hit that. Also check out the other links down in the description as well. My Twitter, my Instagram, my other channels. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.